Thank you, Chief Norris. Thank you all for letting me be with you today. Doug Eggerman from Midway and Pauley's Island. He's been good to let me bring wounded warriors and folks who are still active duty in the military by and show them around, and they do a tremendous job there. All of you folks in that area in Georgetown, a few years ago, my hometown about burned down. It hadn't been for you folks, so we owe you a great deal. Saving Georgetown, I guarantee you, with all the old buildings in Hart Pine, we about lost that whole place, but thanks for what you do each and every day. Al Walker's a good friend of mine, and he helps with your recruiting, and he tells me 80% of you are volunteers. Man, I thank God for that. It's just an honor to be with you today. I'm sorry my wife's not with me. I got a picture of my wife and daughter on the screen up there. They were mother-daughter. As you can see, they're a lot better looking than I am. I know what you're thinking. You say, how in the world somebody look like you get a wife look like that? I was a football coach. I married my cheerleader. I sort of tricked into it, but I won't let her back out now. I thank God for my wife after being wounded 7 times in Vietnam, 41 operations, 2.5 years in the hospital. So over 600 Marines and sailors come home, arms off, legs off, eyes out. So about 65% of their wives turn their back and walk out on their husbands. My bride's been with me every step of the way. And believe me, I thank God each day for her. And I just wish more young men in America could have a wife like her, and I'm happy our daughter is Tara. We got a picture of Tara and her family. Tara finished Furman University, political science. God only knows what you do with that kind of major. Can't get a real job, you got to run for something, but she worked for the governor 3 years. 17 years ago, she married Lee Reeves. Some of you remember Lee's daddy, Dan Reeves. Played and coached with the Cowboys, coached the Broncos, Giants, Falcons. That's why they call it NFL, not for long. Boy can't keep a job. They blessed us with twins 15 years ago and a new groundhog baby 3 years ago. Lee's a lawyer in Davison, North Carolina. Our younger daughter, Krista, in the next picture there, Krista's a brunette, bless her heart. She couldn't go to college. She went to Clemson, but she'd kill me. She'd kill me. She'd miss Clemson. She married a surgeon from North Carolina, and they in the Raleigh area. They blessed us with twins 17 years ago, so we got them in litters in my family, I guarantee you. I just needed one more daughter to get me an Indian chief. I'd have had something worthwhile. I got a doctor and a lawyer. A lot of folks will speak to you during your career. Everybody in the world talks better than I do with this South Carolina accent. Most folks look a lot better than I do. But ladies and gentlemen, nobody will ever be with you today or any other day that owe you what I do. Owe you my life. Had it been for young men like many of you on a hill in Vietnam, many gave their lives, I'd be dead today. If it hadn't been for an 18-year-old wife that loved me, cared for me, gave me a reason, a will to live, I'd be dead right now. I'm here to say thank you, and I'm truly honored to be with you. When you look like me, you get all kind of comments. I was speaking some schools down in Alabama. I was in Foley, Alabama. I was walking down the hall. Kid grabbed me by the sleeve, says, "Where's your hand, man?" I was up in Hart, Michigan. They talk funny up there. The little girl looked at me. She said, "Can you see out of your eye?" I had it in my pocket. I said, "I don't know, honey. Can you?" And I flipped it to her. You know, it hit on the chest, rolled across the floor. She fainted, graveyard dead, you know. That's a rubber eye. My wife's got the glass one in the jury box. She won't let me carry it with me anymore. The comment I generally get with young people when I walk in a schoolhouse, first thing I hear, a kid looks at me and says, "Are you a pirate?" So me and he on the beach at Myrtle Beach, I thought I'd bring you a pirate story today. Pirate had a wooden leg. Little boy said, "Man, how come you got the wooden leg?" He's on a ship. Cannonball came through the side of the ship, tore my leg off, had to get a wooden leg. He said, "I'm going to stand there, but you got a hook." Now I wear a hook when a duck hunt, deer hunt, turkey hunt, wild hog hunt. But let me tell you, folks, you're not coming through that Atlanta airport with a hook on. Parrot had the hook on. Little boy said, "Man, how come you got that hook?" So I was in a duel, sword fight, got my arm cut off, had to get a hook. I can understand that. But you got a patch. Why you wear a stupid patch? You're on a ship one day, beautiful sunny day like today, and I'm standing on the deck looking up. A group of seagulls came right over. Sure enough, one of them did his thing. Right in my eye. Little boy said, mercy, man. That caused you to lose your eye? I said, no, not really. Just the first day that I had my hook. You know, talk about eyes. What an honor to be here and get to meet and be with folks like you, and thank you for what you do each and every day of your life. You put it on the line every day, and we owe you so very, very much. It's great to be with you. Proverbs says, in everything you do, put God first. He will direct your paths, crown your efforts with success. What is success? Car we drive, vacations we take, money we make. To me, success is finding God's plan for your life early in life, staying in that plan all of your life. I like what Winston Churchill said. Churchill said, success is going from failure to failure with most enthusiasm. You can relate to that, can't you? Let's look at the word success, S-U-C-C-E-S-S. There's only one you in success. We couldn't have this convention. We couldn't have this state without you. You're very important. God did a tremendous job when he created each and every one of you. He's got a tremendous plan and purpose for your life. There's only one E in success. E is enthusiasm. That's God in you. That comes within. We can all have that. I grew up on a 10,000 acre about south of him. My dad was a country boy, had a barnyard philosophy. Daddy sort of felt, son, you lying in bed, the sun comes up, shine through the window, and caught you in bed. Daddy said, son, you're going straight to hell. I never could find anything in the Bible to base that on, but it sort of motivated me to get up and get after it. So I get up every day. Somebody said, what do you do? I read. Sergeant Major Henry Hawley started and ended his career at Parris Island. Gave me a little book like this in '69, Simple Fidelis. All it is Psalms and Proverbs. Psalms is man's relationship to God, not a bad relationship to have. Proverbs is man's relationship to man. How you treat your husband, your wife, your children, your fellow employees. And every 31 days, I get through 150 Psalms and 31 Proverbs. One U in success, one E in success, but y'all, there's two C's in success. And the one I want to hit on today, we're talking about building bridges as communication. If you go build those bridges, you got to be able to communicate. I was speaking to about 3,700 business folks in Operaland. My daughter, Krista, was Miss Clemson. She called me and said, Daddy, cut the television on. So Clemson, Virginia playing national TV. Woo, wish I had no mercy. Virginia had a quarterback named Mo, had a receiver named Mo. Mo threw to Mo. They scored more than we did, beat the hound dog out of us. First time in 29 years, she said, Daddy, a date number 37 for Clemson. Goes down on kickoffs and punts. Now, let me tell you, you go down on kickoffs and punts in college football, you better have smarts to start with. I said, dog, baby, you dating a football player from Clemson? She said, yes, sir, Daddy. I said, baby, carry your Bible with you. She said, Daddy, we're not communicating. You're not listening. I said, Daddy, I told you he plays football for Clemson. I said, Daddy, the boy can't read. I said, I know it, honey, but I said, carry it with you anyway. He gonna get you out there at Lake Hartwell, stop the car, look at you right eyeball to eyeball, say, hey, baby, I love you. I said, honey, what he really means, I love me. I'm fixing to use you like a football dummy. I said, carry that Bible with you. He get out there and stop the car, just open that Bible up, put it on the seat right between you. And by the time that rascal climbs over Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, he's wore out. He's wore out. You can handle it. If you're going to be successful, you got to learn how to communicate. Remember what Joe Patton said? Patton said, say what you mean and mean what you say. Say what you mean and mean what you say. You're going to be there, be there. You're going to do it, do it. You made a mistake, don't we all? Admit it. Take some responsibility. Not his fault, not her fault, it's my fault. I get up and read and study in the morning, usually go out for a run. Had a yellow lab named Chesty Pull. I was down on the beach one morning, sun was coming up, I'm standing there. This guy standing on the beach, brown trousers, blue shirt, watching the sunrise. Chesty and I ran by. I said, how's it going today? Nothing. Went on down the beach, came back by. Good to see you today. Nothing. Ran on back by. Nothing. I ran on by. I looked back, and old Chesty picked his leg up and baptized that boy. all over his breeches leg. Let me tell you, he said something then, I guarantee you. He looked back at me, he said, "You see what your dog just did?" I said, "Yes, I sure did." He said, "Well, how come I do that?" I said, "I've had Chesty 8 years. He's never done that. But I can tell you exactly why he did it. He thought you was a stump." I said, "Man, we spoke to you 3 times. You didn't say anything." A few years ago, I was speaking here at the convention center. I got through and out back signing some book. Some guy came, stands right in front of me, looked at me and said, "Remember me?" I said, "No, sir." He said, "I'm the stump." I said, "Man, sign my Bible. I got to remember you." Charlie O'Brien, he's from New Jersey. He moved into Murrells Inlet a few years ago. Let me tell you, you can't get by him. He'll stop your bicycle. He speaks to everybody. But if you're going to build that bridge, you got to learn how to communicate. Krista, when she was about 3 or 4 years old, used to look at me and say, "Daddy, listen to me with your eye. Put the Bible down. Put the book down. Eyeball me. Let me know you're really concerned, you're really interested in what I'm doing and what I'm saying." You got to learn to communicate if you go build those bridges. The second C in success is one we're forgetting in America today. Your granddaddy's had it. Commitment. Hang in there. Finish the course. 2 C's, communicate and commitment. My wife wrote a great book about it, Commitment to Love, and it takes that commitment to be successful. And that's why we have these firefighters that we have in South Carolina, the commitment that you have and the price that you pay each and every day. 3 S's. See where you're going, have a plan. STP, sustain the pace, hang in there, don't quit. See where you're going, start something to help you get there, and sustain the pace. The letters in success. I didn't have to go to Vietnam. I was a college coach. September 1966, I saw a young man do something on a college campus. I hope I never see again in person. A young man burned the American flag. Now, you heard about a walk-on on a college campus? I was a walk-off. I went into Paul Diesel's office after the game, said, "Coach, I'm going to Paris Island. I'm joining the Marines." Coach looked at me and said, "You crazy." A few days later, I met Sergeant Ford from Randall, Kentucky, and sure enough, Coach was right. But I endured some Marine training. They found I had a college education. They needed officers. I wanted to be a gunnery sergeant was my goal. They needed lieutenants. They needed officers. They sent me to the officers program and made me a retarded lieutenant, and from there to Vietnam. Wrote a book about it, made a movie about it. But I'd like to share with you that last patrol. Had a recon team. We'd go in an area that very few men had been. Instead of going with a 6-man team, we went in with 13 men. Landed on a small tea plantation in the middle of a large valley. As we landed, we found punji pits, booby traps, mines, but we were very fortunate. Nobody was killed sitting there on the hill. I cleared a punji pit, got in the bottom of that. Had my radio man, McCormick, dig a foxhole to my left. 3 men in a foxhole to my right. About 30 yards, 40 yards behind me, a bomb had exploded. Left a big crater in the ground, and I put 8 men around the edge of that bomb crater, thinking it'd have a good bit of protection. About 12 o'clock at night, I thought I heard some enemy movement at the bottom of the hill. I grabbed my shotgun, a Winchester Model 12 pump, crawled out of the punji pit, started making my way to the right to see if these men had heard anything. Before I got to them, a grenade came in that exploded, hit me here in the neck and in the shoulder, and like any other brave lieutenant, I jumped back in a hole I'd crawled out of, started calling for artillery and air support opposition. Well, I was on radio, about 10 or 12 enemy, what we call a SAPA unit in Vietnam, better known to you probably as a suicide squad. It's like these terrorists they got today. These men had grenades tied around their waist, had grenades in each hand, had the pins pulled, just ran up a hill exploding, killing themselves, trying to kill us. I didn't know them, didn't have a whole lot against them, just didn't want them killing me and my men. And we shoot them just fast as we could. One guy right in front of me, I shot him. His moment above me in the hole with me as he fell in, he had some of his hands about the size of one of your ladies' pocketbooks. It was a satchel charge. It was full of explosions. He fell on this and exploded, blew the 2 of us out of the punji pit. I was going through the air, reached back for my shotgun. I realized the blast had blown my left arm off just above my elbow. Looked to my left, my radio man, McCormick, was dead or unconscious. At the time, I wasn't sure which. Heard me screaming in the right crowd. What happened to grenade in that foxhole? A young Marine, I think we got a picture of him, PFC Ralph Johnson, Burke High School, Charleston, South Carolina. Ralph jumped on a grenade, smothered it with his stomach, blew himself in half. It saved my life, the life of 2 Marines with him. His family later received the nation's highest award, the Congressional Medal of Honor. 38 years ago, we named the VA hospital. It used to be the Charleston VA. Now it's Ralph H. Johnston, in honor of Ralph. 8 years ago, we named a street in Charleston. Mayor Riley and my wife and I went out and named a street in Charleston after him. This year, the Navy's building a ship, and in 2017, when that destroyer is completed, it'll be commissioned Ralph H. Johnston, in honor of Ralph, and I appreciate that. But that night, I tried to get over to him as I crawled that way. Another grenade came in, so I did. I threw my hands up. This arm was off. Right hand come my right eye, grenade exploded. Blew my left eye out, nose off, teeth on the left side out, both eardrums out. Lost most of the use of my right hand. Things are looking pretty tough, and I figured my only chance getting the crater behind me with 8 men fighting. Tried running for the bomb crater. Before I got there, a grenade hit me in the legs. I lay there, it seemed like hours. I don't know how long it passed, but believe me, y'all, I never wanted to live so bad in all my life. If I could just see my men get off that hill alive, if I could see my bride one more time. Heard some movement behind me. I said, it's over now. As I got closer, I heard something go, Lieutenant, Lieutenant. Recognized the voice, 18-year-old Marine I had from Alaska, Rod Hunter. Riding up on my feet, we just picking enemy off as came up a hill. Bob Lucas, 19-year-old from Corpus Christi, Texas, of Fort Worth. Early that he'd won a Navy Cross with me. Bob came over and knelt by me, got a radio. Chopper pilot said he couldn't get in there till daylight. Bob said, tell him forget it. We've been throwing rocks down the side of the hill, out of grenades. Won't anybody be here at daylight? Pilots reconsidered. 3 a.m., the first bird landed. Put my 2 dead, 5 wounded on that chopper. As it lifted, the next one landed. The rest of my men grabbed hold. As that bird lifted, about 150 enemy just covered the hill. 5 more minutes. Probably nobody got out of there alive. Flew us to Marble Mountain, had surgery there. From there to Japan. I was in the Air Force Hospital in southern Japan, in the Army Hospital at Camp Drake. From there to Bethesda, Maryland. I started walking a little bit. They said, son, your best bet's to go home on leave. Came to my wife's hometown, Florence, South Carolina, and I picked up a newspaper one day. Said, one of my heroes is going to be out at the football field that night. Bobby Richardson, former second baseman, New York Yankees. And lower there in the paper said Vonda K. Van Dyke, former Miss America from Arizona. I'm a country boy from South Carolina, but I ain't totally stupid. I turned to my wife, I said, I sure like to go see Bobby Richardson. We went out that night. Bobby and Vonda K. got up and shared as I have today. Billy Zioli, President Ford's personal chaplain, brought a message that God used to change our lives. And in Billy's message that night, he said, there are 2 kinds of fools in this world, a fool for Christ and a fool for others. He said, whose fool are you? Whose fool are you? I knew that night whose fool I'd been all my life. So I never drank and never smoked, just to let in all full sports. Been all state in, state champion, a mile run, just to impress people. I'd gone to Sunday school and church ever since 9 months before I was born, because that's what mom and dad wanted me to do. A lot of church, a lot of religion. What I needed was a personal relationship with a living Savior. You may think that my men suffered that night on that hill, that I've suffered, that my wonderful wife has suffered. 41 operations we've been through, 2.5 years in the hospital. You suffer, don't you? Broken home situation, injury, sickness, illness, death in the family, layoff, financial problem. But Dan and I found that our Bible has become our most prized possession. Romans chapter 5, verses 3 through 5 says, we rejoice in our suffering, because suffering produces endurance. Endurance produces character. Character produces hope. Hope doesn't disappoint us, because God's love imported into our hearts is a free gift from the Holy Spirit. In those verses, the word character And y'all, I believe character is a great word in America today, but I believe it's a misused word. To get into school these days, you got to have a theme, and I go in with a drug and alcohol theme. You say, come on, man, you typical Vietnam vet, you had a drug problem? Let me tell you, folks, I had a serious drug problem. My daddy drugged me to work, drugged me to school, drugged me to practice, drugged me to church. I wish more young people had that same daddy with that same problem. As parents, we've made a mistake. What have we done as parents? We tried to give our children everything we didn't have. Give them everything money can buy. You know, I believe we ought to give them what we had. Give them a few things money can't buy. Honesty, integrity, loyalty, discipline, commitment, manners. Fellas, take that cap off when you come in a building. Stand up when a lady comes in a room. Open a door for a lady. Close the door. Pull a chair out. Push it back. And girls, let them do it. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Thank you. God bless you. I love you. Simple words, but important words. That's what's made this country great. That's the only hope for staying great. Dan and I just did the governor's prayer breakfast, Boise, Idaho. That's a pretty area out there. There's some weird-looking young people, though, let me tell you. I did some high schools out there. These cats, they had yellow hair, pink hair, purple hair, spiked hair. Man, I'd just like to have some hair. I never seen such a thing. One old boy, bless his heart, had an air bob coming through his tongue. Fish hooks through his lips. It hurt me to look at him. I said, son, how you kiss a pretty little girl with those things in your mouth? He said, I take them out. I said, son, I'd leave them out. You look like an idiot, you know. We got so many young people trying to be characters. We don't need to be characters. We need to have character. I was at Foley, Alabama. A little boy comes up front of the truck, blew the horn. Stupid little old girl comes running out the door. Let me tell you, fellas, you come in front of my house, blow the horn, Jesus will be there for them grandchildren come out. You come see my granddaughter, you go talk to granddaddy, and I'm in the back room cleaning my shotgun. 5 minutes late, you're going to wake up dead, let me tell you. I'll give you a couple acronyms you can take back home with you, if you will. One's pride. Now, I don't mean pride you think you're better than somebody else. I read the Bible, that's sinful. But if you take the letters of pride, P-R-I-D-E, personal responsibility and daily effort. That's the pride the way you dress, the way you talk, the way you treat people. Pride in doing your best in whatever you're doing each and every day. Another word is bionic. You heard of bionic man, bionic woman. You take the word bionic, believe it or not, I care. But nobody cares any more than you do. Thank you for caring, risking your lives to save others. Believe it or not, I care, and you really do. Next word is patch, like a well mind, hope and pray and never wear a patch. But remember the letters, if you will, P-A-T-C-H. Positive attitude that characterizes hope. Positive attitude that characterizes hope. Life's tough. You know that better than I do. You going to get better or you going to get better? I've chosen to get better, and you can too. You listen to some good music, read some good books, put some good things in, good things are going to come out. But you have to work on that attitude each and every day. Positive attitude that characterizes hope. Next word is team, and you know there's no I in team, but you take the word team as together, everyone accomplishes more. Working together, we're going to accomplish a whole lot more. And last acronym is license tag on my pick-em-up truck. FIDO. F-I-D-O, FIDO. Why you call your dog Fido? You call a cat anything you want. They're not coming. But you call your dog Fido because he's faithful. He's faithful. Comes from the Marine slogan, Semper Fidelis, always faithful to your cord, to your country, to your flag, to your wife, to your children. But take the word Fido, F-I-D-O. Forget it and drive on. Forget it and drive on. I never said forget people. You worth living for, you worth dying for. Forget your problem. You'll have some bad days. You'll get knocked down. Forget it, learn from it, and drive on. When I was in that MASH unit, no way I was supposed to live. It's a deathbed situation. Had 2 dead and 8 wounded out of 13. But my men that could walk came by one at a time just to get a last look, just to tell me bye. I started to say they were crying, but you know Marines, we think we're tough, man. We don't cry, but the eyeballs were sweating pretty good. And they lay a plaque down by me, and on that plaque it said, in this world of give and take, there are not enough people willing to give what it takes. What an honor to be here today with folks like you, with the leadership and the training you have, preparing yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, willing to give what it takes for faith, for our flag, for our families, you veterans, our freedom, you young people, our future. The way of life we know and enjoy so well because of great folks like you. What an honor to be with you. God bless you.